What is up, everyone? Chris Roma here, aka Roma Aquatics, and I am in the middle of a water change on this rack, both of these racks actually. As you can see, the water is down a little bit lower, and I'll walk through my process of how this works. So as you can see, the tanks have float valves, and that is for the auto top-off system and for water changes. So normally these all connect to a 30-gallon garbage can that is above us, so it is gravity fed, and it just auto tops off all the time. And then once a week I manually come in and I grab my 5-gallon bucket here and my little siphon hose, and I will siphon out approximately a gallon of water from each tank. And then I disconnect the main source of this. So right here, this hose normally goes up to the auto top off. I disconnected it right there, and I plugged it into this hose, which leads to my water change water, which we're about to see. So here we have my water storage station. We have a bucket for salt water, a bucket for Caridina water, and a bucket for Neo-Caridina water. So right now I just have a pump. It's a submersible pump that hooks into the RO line, and then as you've seen the other side where that connects to, and that will just pump water into the tanks. So back to the tanks, as you can see, there's water being pumped in, if you can see that. See water coming in there. Water coming in. So these will continue to fill until the float valve shuts them off, and then at that point I can show you what happens to the pump. So these will all fill, and they will automatically stop filling the tanks because the float valve will cut off the pressure, and that's it kind of only fills like 2 or 3 tanks at once. The pump only has enough power to really pump that much water through that hose at this height to do 1 or 2, 3 tanks at once, and then the valves will close and it kind of moves down the line as the valves close. So you can see those first 3 tanks are full. It's probably filling that one and then running down gravity to fill these, and it gets easier as it has to fill lower, but it still only does like 2 or 3 tanks at a time. But basically it'll fill until that float valve pops up. It won't let them fill anymore, and at that point the pump would start stressing. So this was my solution for that. So over here back at the pump, I may have to unplug it to see this, but up, as you can see, it just popped. See how that is very loosely on another pipe. So when all the float valves close, this will pop off, and then the pump just kind of circulates water into the container rather than putting a bunch of stress on the pump because it can't pump the water anymore. So get what I'm saying? The float valves are all closed, puts too much pressure on this pops off, and then we just kind of recirculate water. So I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can put this back on here one-handed. And there we go. And I'll actually unplug it and lift it up right now so you can kind of see what that looks like. So, unplugged. And as you can see, gotta bring it out. Sorry about shaky camera. Okay, so this is the pump I use, and this was kind of my solution. I have this, and then once the float valves kind of put too much pressure, this will just pop right out, and then it'll just blow circulation. So this kind of slides in. It's tight enough where it'll stay until there's resistance in the line, and then it pops off. So that is how I do auto water changes and auto top offs in a nutshell. And it's not really auto water change because I still have to manually drain the water and manually turn the pumps on and stuff. But that's it for this one. Roma Aquatics out.